You don't want to be able to fix your tractor, stupid farmer, because if you're able to fix your tractor, that may share your data with other farmers that may then be able to open farms that are even more successful than you. You see what they're trying to do? Hey, everybody, how's it going? I need your help with something that's very important. Last year, all of you came together and helped me in this regard in ensuring that a false narrative did not take hold regarding automotive right to repair. In Massachusetts last year, there was a question on the ballot. Question 1. What it did is it closed a loophole in their automotive right to repair bill that passed in 2012. This loophole had to do with mechanics being able to have access to certain elements of the vehicle when it comes to using wireless scan tools to do diagnosis and figure out what's wrong with the car. I'm not a mechanic. What I do know is that it closed a loophole that, if not closed, would have allowed automotive manufacturers to make it more difficult for your independent mechanic to be able to work on your vehicle, which would have defeated the purpose and the spirit of that bill when it was passed in 2012. This bill had a lot of opposition from some interesting moneyed interests. You have General Motors, Toyota, Ford, American Honda Motor, and Nissan North all give money in opposition to this legislation. And a lot of it went to Coalition for Safe and Secure Data. Coalition for Safe and Secure Data, in my opinion, did their best to spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The fear, uncertainty, and doubt that they spread was a fear, uncertainty, and doubt that all of you universally found disgusting. And I played some of that in some of my prior videos. Tesla asked customers to vote against right to repair, question 1 in Massachusetts, you can see here. And here you can see some of the commercials that were used to try and convince you that if your mechanic were able to fix your car, that horrible things would happen to you. And I'll just play you some of the commercial so you understand why I was so mad last year.
If question 1 passes in Massachusetts, anyone could access the most
the scary
personal
music.
data stored in your vehicle. Domestic violence advocates say a sexual predator could use the data to stalk their victims.
See, you got all the cool
Pinpoint
blue LEDs,
exactly where you are,
dark parking lot at
whether
night.
you are alone. Even take control of your vehicle. Vote no on 1. Keep your data safe.
Gets better.
If
the
question
next
1
commercial.
passes in Massachusetts, anyone could access the most personal data stored in your vehicle. The Federal Trade Commission warns your address could be paired with your garage codes to give easy access to your home.
Break into your
Domestic
house.
violence advocates say a sexual predator could use the data to stalk their victims.
You see where this is going. You're going to get beaten in a parking lot. You are going to have your house broken into. How many times has this happened since this passed? This did pass because all of you collectively told your friends, your family members, your coworkers what was going on, and you ensured that people in Massachusetts knew this was bullshit. This is not something I could have done without your help. Last year, 74.97% voted yes, 25.03% voted no. Now, I need your help again. This is not something I can do without the help of everybody watching. There is another false narrative that is taking hold, and that is regard to farm right to repair. For many years now, farmers have been advocating for a right to repair bill. This is not something I knew until 2017, when I went to lobby in Nebraska on behalf of the right to repair bill and was very surprised to meet a lot of farmers there with a lot of the same complaints. There are companies like John Deere, where pretty much all the problems that I discuss in this channel you could mirror to John Deere, and it's virtually the same thing, just in the world of tractors as opposed to consumer electronics. Now, what's interesting is that more and more companies are going in that direction, to the point where people are going and buying 1970s and 1980s tractors and refurbishing them rather than purchase new ones. You don't want to be at a point where the people that prepare our food are incapable of doing so at an affordable price because they're not able to fix the devices that they use to harvest the food that we eat. This is not a good thing. And there are lots of people who have been speaking out in favor of a farm right to repair bill. And you'll see me talk about it on this channel. Over here, you can see that the Nebraska Farm Bureau voted to support right to repair 176-1. This is not some sort of fringe movement. This is not something that is like one or two people want it. This is something that is universally desired, that is being slow walked. And what I want to do today is discuss some of the FUD that you are going to see from organizations that are trying to change the narrative here and pull the wool over your eyes. We are going to start today with the Western Equipment Dealers Association. The Western Equipment Dealers Association recently tweeted out, "Right to repair evokes a can-do spirit and common sense. Unfortunately, that's not what right to repair is really about. Simply put, right to repair proposes government-sanctioned intellectual property theft and promotes illegal modification. Read more." That tweet is a tweet that is a bit controversial there, but it gets better in the article. Right to repair smolders. We continue to see advocacy efforts to enact right to repair legislation. In the past 3 years, we have seen attempts to pass right to repair legislation in over 25 states. The issue has also crept into Canada, where it became a discussion item with the Canadian Federation of Agriculture. And in 2019, a private member's bill was introduced in Ontario. To date, no right to repair bill related to agriculture has been passed in either country. Ultimately, that is a good thing for the agricultural community. Let me explain why. Right to repair evokes a can-do spirit and common sense. Unfortunately, that's not what right to repair is really about. Simply put, right to repair proposes government-sanctioned intellectual property theft and promotes illegal modification. Over the past century, agricultural equipment has developed to become more high-tech, efficient, and safer. A modern-day tractor contains more lines of code than the first space shuttle and can operate autonomously. The high-tech tools on board today's equipment allows farmers to more accurately seed, spray, and harvest, while at the same time monitor the weather. All of this leads to producing a higher crop yield. Points to ponder. Equipment manufacturers have invested in this new technology because the industry's customers have asked for it and continue to ask for it. But despite the technological advancements, farmers can still perform the vast majority of repairs on their equipment. This is something that many farmers that I met when I went to Nebraska and I sat down and I had breakfast with farmers before we had our legislative hearing disagreed with. These laws were designed to keep farmers and the public safe, while at the same time keeping the emission standards laws consistent. Right to repair advocates have also pursued language in legislation that would make it difficult for dealers to protect their customers' data, such as seeding, fertilizing, or spraying rates and crop yield. Would farmers like their crop production data shared with those who buy their trade-ins? We think not. You see where this is going here? You see where they're going with that whole safe and secure data thing? If you want your mechanic to have access to the ability to use a scan tool or do diagnostics on your vehicle so you don't have to go to the dealer, you're giving that mechanic the ability to break into your house, follow you into a parking lot, and beat you up and rape you. And if you want to be able to fix your own tractor, if you want to be able to work on the agricultural products that you purchased, that means that you're going to be trading in your data and giving all of your secret data to other farmers. You don't want to be able to fix your tractor, stupid farmer, because if you're able to fix your tractor, that may share your data with other farmers that may then be able to open farms that are even more successful than you. You see what they're trying to do? They're trying to push buttons here. And even though I am not a farmer, even though I don't work in this field, I recognize bullshit. That sounds like some bullshit. So clearly stated, right to repair laws would raise privacy and safety concerns, stifle innovation, and remove the incentive manufacturers have to create products that meet consumer demand. It's also important to note that in my 25 years of working in the industry, I have yet to meet a dealer who is against a farmer's right to repair his or her equipment. In our view, the right to repair movement is more about right to modify than right to repair. No. They want the ability to fix their tractor without having to deal with the dealer every single time. When you have a tractor and you need to do something because of weather conditions or whatever else, you need to get this done in the next 18 hours and your tractor breaks down, you don't have time to haul that thing to the dealership. You don't have time to wait for a dealership person to come out and deal with it. You need to make it work right effing now. That is what I have learned from meeting farmers in Nebraska and meeting farmers when I have lobbied in upstate New York. When I have met these individuals, this is what they tell me. When they need something to work, they are often self-sufficient and they need it to work right now. And they are willing to learn the skill set required so that they can make it work right now, as they have done in the past for decades. What we see in here, WEDA members have provided numerous examples of premature engine and transmission failures due to equipment being chipped. Also, the 2020 harvest has resulted in an unusually high number of combine fires. It is in violation of both the National Environment Policy Act in the United States and the Canadian Environmental Protection Act for a manufacturer, importer, distributor, or dealer to remove or alter an emission device. Yet despite the laws, we regularly see and hear advertisements for tuning ships to increase horsepower or DEF defeat kits. Equipment altered from the original OEM standards runs hotter and harder and is more prone to fail. It also voids warranty, puts insurance coverage at risk, and substantially reduces the equipment's trade in value. However, let's not confuse modifying farm equipment with proposed legislation on repairing equipment. It appears the right to repair movement is intentionally trying to conflate these two issues. Sounds like you're trying to intentionally conflate these two issues. Industry solution. Make no mistake. An equipment dealer completely understands the frustrations of consumers when they get an error code and they don't know the extent or severity of the issue. That is why the industry has come up with a solution to prevent the need for any right to repair legislation. Oh, have they? Dealers and manufacturers will ensure that end users have the tools they need to perform maintenance and basic repairs on their equipment and allow them to quickly identify more serious issues that require the assistance of a dealer. Simply, our industry commitment is to ensure that folks have right to repair while continuing to work against attempts to improperly modify equipment that compromises privacy, safety, and emissions features. We are on track for these tools to be available by early 2021. An industry solution is always better than a legalized solution. I would agree if you actually came up with a solution. See, people don't get to the point of showing up at legislatures instead of working on their farm until you have given them the middle finger for a very, very long time. WEDA members are aware that the association has been at the forefront of representing dealer interests on this issue. In 2019, we launched a social media campaign to get the message out to farmers that modification and tuning or chipping are not worth the risk. But despite these efforts, we expect to see renewed activity on the right to repair question and when state and provincial legislators resume in 2021. So, we have been proactive in reaching out to state farm bureaus and many other farm organizations in both countries to discuss the issue. We feel it is important for these groups to hear the issue from a dealer perspective. Lobbying. Farmers in the agricultural equipment industry are playing a key role as we work through the challenges created by the COVID-19 pandemic. It's clear the current system is working. No, it's not. But right to repair laws would interfere with this by adding unnecessary government regulation. Let's hope lawmakers realize this type of legislation will be detrimental to our farmers and the equipment industry. As we adjust to the current challenges of the pandemic and for our industry to continue to feed North America and the world, we need our lawmakers to focus on ways that they can truly help agriculture. Now, I have spoken to farmers when it comes to this. I have lobbied alongside farmers when it comes to this. You can listen to their arguments. I do have videos that I will link down below from when I have traveled to Nebraska. You can hear the farmers. You can listen to their concerns. You can listen to their arguments. You can also listen to some John Deere employees that have emailed me and given me what they think. You can listen to the comments in that video, and you can get an idea of what is going on. But what I think is really important here is to understand the bad faith arguing that occurs when you hear them talk about that safe and secure data thing. When you hear them saying, if you traded in your tractor, you wouldn't want other people to get access to the patterns you use on your farm, would you? That reeks of, we make it so mechanics can actually work on your car. You don't want people to break into your garage and find you in the parking lot and beat you, do you? That's disingenuous arguing. That's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And that is what is being shared by the Western Equipment Dealers Association at this time. I think it is important that people who are more knowledgeable than me when it comes to farm equipment, because this, as you understand, is not my field, to come together to explain why this is just a complete pile of bullshit and start preparing the counter arguments for legislators so that when they bring these points up, you can say, yeah, no, this is what's actually going on. This is something that I have done with myself, with my own arguments and my own testimony. What I did is I put together a document, and this document goes over every single one of the opposition lobbyist talking points and then explains why it's incorrect with citations and clearly explained reasons. I can do that for my industry. I can do that for consumer electronics. I can do that for MacBooks and cell phones and all this type of stuff. I cannot do that for farm equipment. I don't work on farm equipment. It's not my thing. I know bullshit. I know bullshit when I see it. I can get that far. I can read this and I can realize that this is a steaming pile of shit. But what I can't do is explain the very particular points that farmers have that prove this wrong. I cannot speak for you. And what I'm asking for here is that those who watch this channel, those farmers who actually show up at their state legislators, let's start getting together. And let's just start maybe in the comment section of this video and in the Discord channel, in the Discord chat that I'm going to include in the video description. Let's start a discussion and let's create a document that explains why each and every one of the talking points explained here are bullshit, so that we can move forward with a narrative that is not distorted by individuals who have a financial incentive and profit motive to keep you from being able to repair your own equipment. I'm going to include a Discord link down below. There are right to repair channels there. I welcome you showing up, and I welcome us all collaborating together so that we can lobby together for the same thing. Right to repair for farm equipment is different than right to repair for consumer electronics. But make no mistake, I will be alongside you in this fight every step of the way, because it's the exact same thing, it's simply in a different industry. I don't have the same knowledge that you do, but we both have the same problems. When I was testifying in favor of right to repair in Nebraska for consumer electronics, you were right there with me, supporting me every step of the way. You're there for me, I'm there for you. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something, and I hope we make progress together. Let's not let a false narrative take hold. See you in the next video.